here we are. Now this is going to be a pretty saucy video, I guess you could say. A gem is going to be in here. So if you don't watch this and you don't hear these words coming out of my mouth right now, then you're unlucky. But if you're watching this, you're about to learn something pretty insane. So we're going to be learning about the immediate rebalance. According to ICT, this is the strongest confluence there is. It's not a PD array. It's a confluence that occurs, okay? It's basically when a fair value gap forms, but within the fair value gap creation, on the third candle of the fair value gap creation, it immediately rebalances that fair value gap before it's created. So let me show you an example here. When this occurs, this shows that there's going to be a displacement. Yeah, like always, price is always going to move up and down very fast. But whenever it does this, no matter how big or how small the fair value gap is, it's going to be insane. That displacement move is going to be something else. So there's two of them here. There's an immediate rebalance here, and there's an immediate rebalance here, okay? Let's zoom in on this one first. So, as you know, a fair value gap is 3 candles. 1, 2, 3. That's a fair value gap. It's 3 candles, okay? 3 whole candles. So, we have, let's make this up, shall we? We have this candle, and this candle. Those are the 3 candles we're looking at. So if we remove that, it's 1, 2, and 3. Now, if this wick wasn't here, we can say the fair value gap would be like here to here. I guess you say that would be the fair value gap. But there's no longer a fair value gap there. Was there? There's no longer a fair value gap there. There was. I'm sure you can see if you look at the candles, right, and you understand ICT and you understand price action, you understand that when price displaced up, there was a fair value gap here being created, but it immediately rebalanced it. See that? It immediately rebalanced it. So there was a fair value gap here. There was one here. There was, but now there isn't. Okay? So it's basically when price comes back and rebalances a fair value gap within the fair value gap creation. Okay? What I mean by that is on the third candle specifically. So on the third candle here is 1, 2, bam, rebalance. 1, 2, 3, rebalance. Whenever you see the immediate rebalance, I'm telling you, I might make a model off of this. I might call it like I think I might give a little teaser actually. Let's pull it up. I might give it a little teaser. So if we go in here, right, this here transparent operation, this is coming. This is using the immediate rebalance. So if you want to use this, I will be making a series for the transparent operation, which is using immediate rebalance, standard deviation, and I think something else also. I forgot what I'm going to use with it. But the immediate rebalance is the strongest confluence there is. And I'm not going to lie, it really is. I've been backtesting this, and bro, it's extremely strong. It's when a fair value gap is rebalanced within the fair value gap creation. That's all it is. Immediately, though. The reason he call it immediate rebalance is because it's being rebalanced within the fair value gap creation. So that's the immediate rebalance, okay? Because there was a fair value gap here, but it rebalanced it while the fair value gap was getting created. So since it was getting created, there's no longer a fair value gap here because it immediately rebalanced it while it was getting created. And like I said, this is a major confluence for a heavy displacement. And did it displace? It sure did. It sure did. This was literally the biggest move. That is what caused all-time highs for gold. Because if we look on the daily and I pull it back, we are at all-time highs. Let me delete all the drawing. Jesus, we are at all-time highs right now because of that move. We are at all-time highs. Pretty amazing, isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty insane. But if we look again, immediate rebalance right there, and then boom, just explosive, just an explosion, man. It's truly insane. Like really, it's absolutely insane. But even on CPI, if you were here on CPI, which is September 11th, 2024, because I'm sure there's going to be people watching this years from now. So September 11th, 2024 on a Wednesday is when CPI came. If we look right here, right before CPI came, right there, you can see that there was a fair value gap there. There really was a fair value gap there. This was a fair value gap. But if we look, what did price do within the fair value gap creation? It immediately rebalanced it. And remember, when you see an immediate rebalance, what does that indicate? A strong, very, very strong move is coming. Very strong move. Very, very, very strong move. Did it do it? Yes. It did. It did. It did indeed. And there was also another immediate rebalance here. You saw that? There was a fair value gap here to here. There was a fair value gap there. This was, but this candle here came back and immediately rebalanced. Well, not completely, but still, basically an immediate rebalance. But it's when it rebalances the entire fair value gap, not just like up to the upper quadrant or the lower quadrant. No, the entire fair value gap that was there must get rebalanced immediately. And what I mean by immediately is within the same 3 candles that the fair value gap is getting created in. So 1, 2, 3, immediate rebalance, and it places downwards. Absolutely insane. It's truly wild to see that confluence in action like that. It's truly insane because I've been backtesting this for like a pretty good while, I guess you can say. And from what I've been seeing, it is a stupidly strong confluence. Like honestly, it is so strong. When you see that, that's like, yo, we're about to go somewhere. So yeah, be ready. It's like no bullshit. Something's about to go down. Really. Well, I'm gonna try to find one more immediate rebalance just to you get what I'm saying. But here, there's another immediate rebalance right here. See, we got 1, 2, and 3. So from here to, or which would have been around here, that would have been a fair value gap. But what did that third candle do? What did it do? It immediately rebalanced it. Okay, what is that telling us? Heavy displacement is coming. Did it displace? Yes, it did. It did. It immediately rebalanced, took out the short-term high here, and came a little bit up into that fair value gap and displaced. Amazing, isn't it? Truly insane. It's wild. I'm not gonna make this video too long because it's such a simple concept, but I'm just trying to drill it in your head that this confluence is a major confluence, okay? And remember, immediate rebalance doesn't just go by itself because sometimes it will fail clearly because as you see, there was a fair value gap here. It immediately rebalanced it, but did it displace higher? No, it didn't. It didn't displace higher. So you always want to use other confluences with everything, okay? You want to use other confluences with everything to make sure everything is right. You don't want to just say, oh, immediate rebalance, bye, bye, bye. Nope, don't even try that. Don't even. I'm telling you that from experience. Do not do that. That's extremely dangerous. Extremely, extremely. But as you see here, oh wow, look at that. Immediate rebalance. Look at that. Boom, bam, immediate rebalance, dump. Insane. It's wild, bro. Like to see this in action is truly crazy. And like I said, it doesn't matter what type of not type of fair value gap, but how big or how small the fair value gap is, because it even did it here. This was a fair value gap, but what happened on the third candle? Immediate rebalance and dump. It's crazy. It's truly an amazing concept, honestly. And we haven't even included any other confluences. Like if we include other confluences with this, it's going to be extremely powerful. Like really, it's going to be a monster confluence when it comes to like predicting stuff. Like really. But let's do this one here, shall we? Let's do this. So we got this 1, 2, 3. There was a fair value gap there. Boom, bam. Right there. There was a fair value gap there. Okay, what did it do? Immediate rebalance, so now that fair value gap is no longer there. Okay, now let's include some confluences, shall we? Oh, wow, look at that. Right at meeting the low. I'm sure there's an SMT down here somewhere. There has to be some sort of SMT. But we did come down and take out this short-term low, right? And why didn't we come and take this? Institutional market structure. Did I teach you about that? Short-term low makes this an intermediate term low. So price isn't going to come down here yet. It's not going to come down here yet. Did it eventually come down here later? Yes, because it has to take something in a short-term manner before it comes to that intermediate term low. And did it do that? Yes, it did. It took out the short-term low. Almost came to that, but it didn't do it. It didn't do it. It didn't come to this low. Took out the short-term low and displaced higher. Where did that displacement come from? The immediate rebalance. Right? So we got that short-term low being taken right there. This here, boom, bam. Right, very simple. And then if we include some sort of change of state of delivery, you could use that immediate rebalance as your fair value gap entry. Like once price immediately rebalances that fair value gap, yeah, that could have been your entry because there's an order block here, right? And since it's a decently large order block, we can draw our quadrants. The quadrants. All right, here we are, the quadrants. Okay, here we go. Price immediately rebalances this fair value gap while dipping down into the consequent encroachment. Does it displace past it? Does it shoot past it? Yeah, just a little bit. But does it go past the lower quadrant? So this is a good indication that you can take buys. So liquidity purge plus respect to the consequent encroachment with an immediate rebalance. Once price immediately rebalances that fair value gap, that can be your entry. So let's set our entry, shall we? About right here, I think that would be, yeah. Or around there. You can set your stop probably at the bottom of the order block right here. And set your target whenever there's a lack of displacement, because since the immediate rebalance, it signals a large displacement. And honestly, since we're on the 30-minute, I'm sure there's a place on the lower time frame they can set a smaller stop. You can probably set it right here at the bodies, honestly. Yeah, probably right there at the bodies right there. And that would have been your 2 RR trade, and got out when there was a lack of displacement. And if you look again, there's my model. Boom, bam, pop, right there. But that's immediate rebalance, a very, very, very strong concept that, according to ICT, it's an extremely strong concept. So I recommend you using this, or whenever you see it, throw on some other confluences on there, or if it's with your daily bias, trade it. But enough of me speaking. I got things I gotta do. I still got ICT mentorship to do. I'll show you guys a little teaser before I go. But this is what's coming. This is chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 3.5, and chapter 4. But this is basically like your understanding of certain concepts and what certain things are before you move on to the hard stuff, which is immediate rebalance, vacuum block, claimed order blocks, implied provide again, weekly profile, micro market structure, quarterly theory, open flow, and basically all the big boy stuff. But yeah, and then there's more too. The auxiliary mentorship inclusion. This is going to be within ICT mentorship, ICT mastery mentorship, but it's going to be like extras stuff that isn't in here, but it's going to be outside of it that you can learn and which you should learn. But enough of me talking. I got things I got to record because I'm going to start recording this ICT mastery mentorship, and I'll be in this video here. Peace.